So when I first watched the trailer for Challengers, I was immediately intrigued. I thought, okay, cool, Zendaya is great in everything. It looks very like intense drama. Seems like the sports aspect of the film is just kind of like a backdrop for this like sexual tension and drama that's going to be in this movie. And I was right about some of that. I was wrong about some of that. Let's talk about Challengers. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Before we get started, I suggest you click on the subscribe button and the notification bell or icon. That way you know whenever I post a new piece of content. That would be great. Subscriptions, big deal. If you like this content, please subscribe. So this movie is really, really, really good and really, really, really weird. And I don't love the ending. I won't spoil the ending, but I will give you some like light story spoilers, kind of explain the movie. But this is, again, like most movies, one where I think the less you know going in, the better. So overall, really, really enjoyed the film. Let's talk about what I liked. So I really like the story of this movie. It's told really like kind of chaotically, but very easy to follow. A lot of time jumps backwards to like the day before, 13 years before, 12 years before, a week before, like the current year, which in this film is 2019. So the movie really hops around a lot, but I think that all works well. I think it's modern day and then 2019 and then like 13 years prior to that, if I'm following correctly. But long story short, it bounces all over the place, but is never difficult to follow. I think that's a testament to the director and to the script and the story overall. Two men are vying for the attention of one woman. We know immediately which one she ends up marrying, but she dates one of them at one point, and she's it's really just an interesting story, which I really like. I like the characters here too. I think Zendaya as Tashi Duncan has this very intense energy, and she clearly is it's really easy for her to draw the attention of men, and that's like a huge part of the story, right? She has this incredible attraction that just draws guys in and is really an important part of the movie and the story. So Zendaya is great in this. Josh O'Connor is Patrick, who's one of the suitors. He's the one that like comes from money, but is also like way more carefree and is kind of a mess and just like loves tennis for the sake of loving tennis. And then Mike Faist as Art, I think really gives an outstanding role. He's kind of great in everything. He was awesome in Steven Spielberg's version of West Side Story. I think I actually saw him in person when I saw Newsies when I lived in New York. He originated one of the roles in that, so I'm pretty sure that the time I saw that, I saw him live on Broadway, and he's tremendous. He's one of the other tennis players, and these two guys are friends, but for reasons of story grow apart. And the climax of the movie is this tennis match they have against each other at very different points in their lives and careers. And so everything leads up to that, and their performances, I think, really anchor that. And so the story plus the performances really like draw you in, and it feels like you know and appreciate the stakes. And I think the movie does an outstanding job of that, really drawing the viewer in and making you care what happens to these characters, because ultimately, right, that's what we enjoy about the movies. This movie also looks fantastic. Some of the shots in this movie, the cinematography, the way the tennis is filmed, some incredible angles from like underneath the ground looking up with the net being like a line down the middle, some first person shots that are never overwhelming. All of it is really, really beautiful to look at. And I think that part of the movie all works well. So I don't love the ending of this movie, and that's really the only thing I didn't love. It has your typical vague Hollywood ending where certain things are left unresolved. So I'll just put it at that. I don't love that about it. I actually kind of hate the ending of this movie. It's one that I feel like I'm going to go back in like a year, 2 years, 3 years and watch again. And I think I'm really going to love it. The movie also like veers off in some very interesting directions. But this is a movie that really has this like sexually charged nature to it that I think overall works well, much more than I thought it was going to. And yeah, so Challengers, this movie's rock solid. Again, don't love the ending. It's a little bit too Hollywood for me. You'll know what I mean when you see it. But otherwise, I loved it. So let me know what you think in the comments. Am I off on Challengers? Is this movie like terrible? Is it great? Let me know what you think. Would love to know. And I'll see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m.